Welcome to Cats and Rats Podcast, covering your Florida Panthers.
Hey everyone, I'm your host, Kirby Lupo. This is our episode number 67. Yes, that's number 67. I know my co-host, Nick Levine, is looking forward to that. Happy New Year to our podcast audience. We're here to break down the Winter Classic. We haven't been back since then. Make sure to check us out over on the YouTube channel side. We've been doing tons of content over there. Appreciate our live stream numbers. They were some of our best numbers. Not the result that we wanted, obviously, in that game, but great community turnout. Make sure to tune in on our YouTube channel side. Again, we're back here on the podcast side. We haven't been here since the new year. We're going to break down the Winter Classic, Nick. A little bit later on, our second segment, we're going to break down Panthers' struggles defensively. We're going to go into some deep numbers there. But without further ado, we're joined by today, making his podcast debut with us. He's always over on the YouTube channel side with us on NHL After Dark. Here is Full Press Media, Full Press NHL's Jim Biringer. How's it going, Jim?
What's going on, boys? Good to see you again, Nick.
Yes.
See you in person.
Yes. So for all those who don't know, I was able to meet Jim Biringer, our guy right here, and Rod Peterson at the Winter Classic, and that was just an incredible night. I mean, got to meet a bunch of other people I haven't seen in years. It was kind of like a flashback there, but it was an incredible experience despite getting pumped, but it was just great meeting you and Rod and seeing so many other people, seeing the fan base and the community come together for sure.
Well, it was a great time. It was awesome. It was great to meet you, Nick, in person. Jersey looks pretty good on you too. I mean, So, I mean, I think everybody had a blast. It was awesome down to be in South Florida. It was great to be in Florida again. As the tagline goes, is Jersey Jim becoming Florida Jim? That might be the case.
I asked Jim to give me a thumbnail for this episode. I thought he was going to give me the one hanging out poolside there.
No.
No, Jim, you're going to go that way route?
No, we're not going that route. Even though I have nothing to be ashamed of. That actually looks really good. That's a really good photo.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I love that the Florida weather does me good recently. So I can't wait to be back down in Florida, by the way, for the Stadium Series. That's going to be fun, too.
In Tampa, you're referring to.
Yeah, exactly.
I should be there.
You should be there too? Oh, wow. Here we go again.
We get another one.
Round two.
Get thrown out by the Tampa Bay security there. You know.
I will not be wearing a Tampa Bay Lightning jersey. I must confess on that right now. I will.
Well, we don't know how tight it's Amalie arenas like that. They throw people out. We'll see what it's like at
correct. Yeah.
What's Buccaneer Stadium called, Nick?
Raymond James Stadium.
Oh, it's Raymond James still.
They ain't gonna have any games there for a couple of months, so you might as well get them in.
Cheap plug for them.
But anyway.
So, anyways, Jim, I just wanted to start off here. Nick, jump in anytime. What were you impressed with the most from this event on TV? I think they hit it all the ballpark. Talking to Nick, talking to our boy Caesar, I think they hit it all the park at the ballpark, so to speak. Jim, what did you think of the event? The happenstance, all of the glitz, the glamour, just everything outside of the game, of course, to start here.
I mean, I'm gonna just say this. I mean, this may sound like I'm kissing some butt and it sounds like a homer, but the National Hockey League, top to bottom, knows how to put on these events. Like, some people may, say, "Oh, why are we putting it in Miami? What does that have to do with Winter Classic?" It's about that market. The NHL knows how to do it to that market. Paul Maurice talked about it. Mike Sullivan's talked about it. Like, Mike Sullivan was talking about how, I was in one in Boston, but this is completely different being in Florida. They know how to put on these events. The pomp and circumstance, the fan fest, the Q&A with Gretzky, Nick Fatiu, God, Darren Pang was doing that. Running, just seeing all the fan fest is what it's about there for these people. They know how to improve it. The little Florida touches. I love the fact they had one side, it was the roller hockey summer side. The other side was the winter side. The roof opening, the fake snow. Like, it felt like an outdoor hockey game. It was great. It felt like you were inside a building. It didn't feel cold. Enjoyable. The press box windows were open. It felt really good. And the NHL puts on these events like no other sport, like outside of the Super Bowl, because it's the Super Bowl, right? But this event is for the market. They know how to adapt it to that market. I'm really interested to see how they adapt it to Tampa, and then obviously next year when we go to Jerry's World and to Utah and all that stuff. Yeah. I think the fact that the way the popularity and how hockey has grown in the state of Florida put them on the map even more. And you saw all the negativity heading into the game. Well, I saw the positivity train going the other way coming out of the game. And all you heard about from people that were there was this was a great experience and one of the best outdoor games and experiences, spectacles the NHL has put on.
Yeah. I think it was a phenomenal spectacle. I mean, take a look. First of all, I want to commend the NHL, and honestly, it was incredible. I wasn't exactly sure how the whole setup was going to come together. I was watching a replay of it on TV, and I was shocked at how kind of eerily similar it seemed to past Winter Classics. You wouldn't have been able to tell it was in a southern climate, and I think that's just a great testament to what you said, Jim, about the NHL. But from everything, like, there was a really big buzz about this. Like, going into it, it's like, we've been to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. Like, it doesn't equate to that, but there was a bit of like a playoff buzz just around, like, okay, this is what's going on. We're about to go to our first outdoor game. And when you got there, it's kind of surreal. It was our first game in Miami since 1998, I believe. So kind of a little bit of a throwback there. You kind of have South Floridians, particularly like native South Floridians, Miami's a completely different world than where the Panthers are right now, where most of Panther fans who I usually see live. So, I mean, it was kind of just a completely different world with the Miami Vice, the Ferraris, whether you have an opinion on that or not, but kind of just a whole scenery of it all. I mean, it was incredible, really was incredible. And they did a really nice job at kind of playing to the market very well, but also kind of, I think, paying homage to kind of that old style Winter Classics, what they have been. I mean, it really was a nice balance. If I had to pick one negative, it had nothing to do with the NHL. I don't think it was the stadium. It doesn't usually house that many people, because Miami Marlins don't usually bring that many people in. So
we joked. We said inside the press box, we're like, the biggest attendance all year is going to be the Winter Classic and the World Baseball Classic, and that's about it.
1,000%. And I mean, they ran out of a bunch of stuff. The concourse was packed; like, you couldn't even move. The stores, they were a little bit bare. But the fan fest was incredible. The energy was outstanding, and even for a game that included a New York Rangers, prominent New York Ranger fan community down here.
What was the percentage of crowd?
I would say maybe 20-25% Ranger fans, if that. I don't even know if it was that much.
I've heard higher.
Oh, I don't know about that, Nick.
I've heard higher.
It sounded like it was a 50-50 split to me.
Well, I'll tell you this. It wasn't.
I've heard closer to
it might have sounded that way.
I mean, it sounded that way from where I was standing, especially when the Rangers had scored.
Well, when you're down 3-0, I think everything's going to sound like a 50-50.
No,
split.
but even at the beginning of the game, it sounded like there were a lot of "Let's go Rangers" chants coming from.
There were. There might have been 30-35%.
Jim has no reason to say that. If you guys see on the YouTube channel,
I really do think, and you could ask other people, I don't think it was close to a 50-50 split, in my opinion. Not where I was sitting.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, again, I was more center, so I could, where a home plate
again, I can't see what's above me. I can't see I couldn't see behind.
I'll just say this: it was a loud building. Both sides were making noise, and it was good. It was a great experience. That's what you want. You don't want it all one-sided either. You want
it's an event.
It's an event. You want both fan bases to be there and experience it.
Yeah, I will say I did.
And it does definitely help when you have native New Yorkers down there.
Yeah, that's what people might not like to hear.
I didn't see.
But Nick, having Montreal or Toronto or Tampa as the other options, you need to have that for the event, I believe.
Yeah, and I think I didn't see too many Ranger fans, particularly in my area. I mean, there were some, right? But I saw mostly Panther jerseys. But again, I mean, I don't really know. I didn't venture off throughout the ballpark.
There were definitely a lot of Ranger fans there, though. From where I had walked in, from being at certain bars, from being just walking around the facility, there were a lot of Ranger fans. They either made the trip down. I knew people that I've known for years that made the trip down. There were definitely people there that I didn't see.
Resident Florida people with Ranger jerseys on.
Then believe it or not, there were people there who I know were usually Ranger fans like a decade ago, and they weren't wearing Ranger jerseys this time. I don't know why.
I don't know, man.
This time.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
I did see someone that's tied into Alexander Barkov wearing a Ranger jersey when they represent South Florida. I'll say.
Anyway,
Anyway, I mean, look, I'll say this. I think it was a good game. I think the experience was great. I think, like Kirby said it before, right? You go back to the Tuesday night game before the Winter Classic, the Montreal fan base that traveled down during a holiday, that sounded like the Bell Center coming through television. Like, even like our buddy Rob Peterson, he put some like clips on after that game, after Suzuki won the game, and it sounded like the Bell Center crowd. Like, Montreal traveled down. Canadians.
They didn't travel. They've been down here for a couple months, John.
All right, well, you know what I mean.
This is the first time, though, like in a while that it's been like that, guys. I know when they always schedule the games around the holidays, but the playoffs, the Panther fans have been coming out a lot stronger after year after year.
I wasn't there.
It was a little bit. It was a little bit of the old. I'm gonna say.
No,
I wasn't there.
But I think that's what makes the experience of these Winter Classics so good, because I was there in 2014 at the Big House. And the split between Red Wings and Maple Leafs fans were so impeccable. It was great. It made the game better. Yeah. Like, if that makes sense, because you have both fan bases going back and forth. And like, for everybody that says they want the outdoor experience of the snow and the this and the that, yeah, it was a great experience, but it messes with the gameplay. They have to shovel more. They have to scrape more. The snow comes down. The play is slower. I'll tell you this, 63-degree puck drop, that ice looked really good, and the play was really good.
Jim, and I want Nick to speak on that being there, but like, you skated on the ice before the event, no hiccups, no issues with the ice.
Nothing.
Like AA+ for the NHL here.
A+ NHL ice. You know, Derek King, Dan King, all those guys, they do a great job with that stuff. You know, we seen it. I was on it. It felt really good. Sometimes when you play these games outdoor in really cold weather environments, the ice is cracked. It's too soft. It's too hard. It's not good enough. And I know we get this nostalgia, the snow and the cold and all this stuff. Give me that South Florida environment any day of the week.
Nick, what was you didn't skate on the ice, but you had some people that did. And
yeah, it was after the fact. I've heard some people tell me, somebody defined it to me as slow. It didn't really fully make sense. But, I mean, maybe the upkeep after the Winter Classic, because they had events and tournaments after that. It was described to me as not very good after the fact. That it took a lot more work to you needed to
probably
push a lot harder to go.
Less manpower and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it required a lot more effort to be able to go the same amount of distance that if you were on another ice, is what I was told, right? So, you know, I do think, though, from my vantage point, I didn't really see anything wrong with the ice on game day. I know plenty of people that have commented prior to the event that the ice was really good outside of Jim that I know. And yeah, I mean, I know there was some talk about when it comes to the Panthers' performance about,
but that you can't change your opinion, Nick. People change their opinion because of the result of the game. No one was saying anything
but
about it.
I don't think it really mattered during the game. After the fact, they're probably not keeping up with the ice as much, and
half the crew left, like half the crew's gone.
Half the crew's gone, and they played.
They had
so
two
many
refrigeration
games.
trucks.
They had tournament on that ice. They had tournaments. They had tons of teams play on that ice. So who the hell knows what the upkeep of that was? It's not a hockey rink, right? So. I still think the spectacle.
I mean, the ice was fine. I thought it was fast. I thought it was NHL ice. I didn't think it was that slow. Like, it might have been slow for people the next day because they just played a game on it.
Yeah, and I think the upkeep's not there. But regardless, I think from top to bottom, I mean, it was a really high-quality event despite what some Northerners and other Canadians want to talk about. I don't really care if you watch. I don't watch the Winter Classic on TV. The only time I'm going to watch Winter Classic is if I'm going to it. So this was the second straight year, Kirby, I think you mentioned about the ratings and the NHL.
Yeah,
I don't think...
I've had this discussion. Sorry to cut you off there, but I've had this discussion with other people around. I think the issue is besides the fact not being on January 1st anymore, you can't find it.
Right.
You can't find the game. It's on TNT. Yeah, that's all well and good, but it's not on national broadcast television. Like,
where it used to be on, was it ABC for all those?
NBC. It was NBC when the game. So it was always on NBC. So you always threw it on 4. Like, I remember 2015. The game was in Washington. I was up visiting some friends in Rhode Island. I'd gone up for New Year's. It was just some fun. It was fun. Just to get a nice getaway for New Year's. Meet some friends. The next morning, we went out. We put the game on. Like, we put the game on because we knew it was on 4. Like, oh, Winter Classic's on. We know you want to watch. It's on 4. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, I was like Chicago and Washington again. I'm like, Chicago again in this thing. But but they've really perfected it. And I think the big thing for me, and I've suggested this to some people, why don't they flip the opening week, right? So we know ESPN always has opening night. Well, give it to TNT and let ESPN and ABC broadcast the Winter Classic. At least you know it's on broadcast television.
And I know there have been other outdoor games that have been on ESPN. Is that the Stadium Series? I know Carolina and Washington last year or 2 years ago.
2 years ago, Detroit and Columbus were on ESPN last year.
And then, but also the fact that you mentioned that it's not on January 1st anymore. And, I kind of think it's kind of lost its luster, to be completely honest, without NBC and Doc Emmerich, I think.
Well, then they get lost with the bowl games when you're moving it around.
Yeah, and then you have college football right around the same time.
And the issue is this year, January 1st, you had the playoff, but you're playing a night game, and you're going up against Ole Miss and Georgia and that game, and that's a problem. But again, you're always going up against football, and it doesn't matter. Like, the NBA does fine on Christmas. Like, the thing is this is what the game is going to be. But until people stop showing up, it doesn't matter what the TV rating is.
Right.
They're gonna keep making this an event, and it's an event.
It's become more of
instead of the All-Star game now.
I think it's kind of it's more of a reach out to new markets at this point than it is a spectacle.
Because everybody wants one. Like,
everybody's it's today, Jim. The news for everyone.
The news today with the Utah and Colorado.
Yeah, that's a great. So out in Utah is going to be hosting the 2027 Winter Classic. It's going to be Utah and the Colorado Avalanche at the Utah Ute Stadium out there. It's a great third year now, and it'll be their third season in the league, and Utah's going to get it. The relocation of Arizona for those that lived under a rock that didn't know that. But yeah, great for them. I mean, it's a great venue. There was some talk, everybody was leaking stuff about, it's going to be in Bristol. I'm like, no. I talked to some people like immediately when I saw that. I was like, that's not happening. That wasn't going to happen. But I like it. You're going to Utah next year. You're going to Jerry's World as well, which I think is going to be Minnesota and Dallas for that game. I'm pretty confident in that. I think Minnesota and Dallas is probably going to be that game, but again, they could go pull something out of like another team somewhere.
Give Florida another one.
Imagine Florida, Dallas. That would be actually kind of cool. To be honest, I don't think you're gonna run back Nashville and Dallas. You did that one already. I think it'll probably be somebody that Minnesota's only been in one. They've hosted it. They've never been a road team, so that could be it. It's probably not going to be Chicago. They've been in too many. So it most likely is going to be Minnesota, St. Louis, a team like that. But St. Louis was just in the Winter Classic. So I think they'll probably go with Minnesota. But again, they could pull a team out of nowhere that and they decide to put them in. But it's usually the Stadium Series is usually more of a divisional game in that region, like we've kind of started to see, right? Like that's what
you don't want the only matchup being that.
Right.
Jim, some people might be upset. We'll talk about this over time and into next year on our NHL After Dark. Join us every Saturday on YouTube. Cheap plug there. But Utah people are like, well, they just got a franchise relocated there. Why are they already getting one? But the ownership group, what they did, what they've done to put into that organization, things, the league's looking at them very favorably. And that's why they're getting this spot here, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And Ryan Smith and his wife has really plugged the team. Like Bill Armstrong was saying that the other day on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, when those guys were asking him about, does he go out to the community and try to get these events like these? They hinted at like an outdoor game, and he's like, no, I leave that up to Ryan and his wife, and like we focus on the hockey side, they focus on everything else. They're very aggressive with it, and he said he wouldn't have been surprised if they get one. And sure enough, a couple of days later, here we are with a game. But yeah, no, good on Ryan Smith for investing, and this is why the NHL wanted to get him involved, because he wants to give back to the community. He wants to make this team better. He's just stable ownership. You get the Utah Jazz involved. You're redoing the Delta Center. You're making it worthwhile for people to invest in this Utah Mammoth team. And it's good. You got a good young team that is finally taking a stride and deserve it. Now we'll see what happens. Colorado comes into town. But you made it a border rivalry that I think a lot of people expected. If Utah was going to get a team, who was it going to be? And I always thought it would be Colorado in the back of my head.
And Nick, just to jump in, you look at what Bill Zito's done, and then you look further what the Viola family has done. That's what Utah is implementing. So that's what you're seeing here. And we'll see.
Vinnick did this with Tampa. Vinnick has done that with Tampa.
Yeah, we'll see.
The NHL rewards aggressive ownership in that regard. They really do like it, particularly when it comes to Sunbelt teams. I know there's a Sunbelt bias. I mean, no, there needs to be a more aggressive approach as an owner from a marketing standpoint, from a business standpoint, to community outreach standpoint when you're in a Sunbelt market. And the NHL, obviously being the National Hockey League, supports that. And, they've been very involved in many community outreach programs down here with the outdoor rinks. And I don't know what they're doing in Utah, but I know they've done a lot when it comes to the Dallas Stars.
Facility
In Dallas, like with the new facility, right? So they promote aggressive ownership and, kind of made a example out of certain people in Arizona, as we know. But that's what happens, right? And if you're an aggressive owner, I mean, these types of events, particularly now in today's NHL, I wanted to comment. I know we're going to talk a little bit about some other stuff later. I did want to kind of weave this into my point, like this type of ownership with the Sunbelt market. Do you think this kind of spells kind of a shift away from the more traditional markets and kind of, maybe experimenting a little bit more with it? And secondly, I know we just got done with this Winter Classic, but I'd die to see a Tampa Bay, Florida outdoor game.
I think if there's some success with this Tampa thing, which I think there will be, because I think they'll get it right.
Yep.
Well, the way they're doing it is crazy because they have to build it under a tent.
Yep.
To protect it, which is kind of crazy.
I know people that live in Tampa. They're telling me all about it right now.
Yeah. So it's going to be really cool, different experience. Maybe one day we get it somewhere. Maybe they play at Hard Rock or something. I don't know. Like that
maybe
would be
Orlando.
Orlando, something like put it in the middle between the two. Like kind of be kind of cool. Find a stadium someplace. I could see it. I could see it.
Jim, any fun stories to share? Anything you heard from the media after this event when you were down there?
There was a rap session before the game. That's going to stay kind of confidential for some of the topics. Some of the hot stove topics were fun to discuss. But we had a little rap session. I will say, like, everybody was like, when we saw the time when we got there, we're like 8:00, and then we heard puck drops at 8:30. We're like, what? We're like, what? 8:30? Come on, guys! Like, let's get it with it. And then everybody's like suggesting, like, how can we make this better? And we're like, can't they adopt the NFL, MLB? Like, okay, we tell you first pitch at kickoff is at X time, like 1:02. Why can't we do this in the National Hockey League? Why can't you have your warm up at 7:15? Then you get through all your pomp and circumstance, and by 8:05 the lead you're dropping a puck.
Something our host Cody Stevens, that's not with us here today, mentions all the time, right, Nick?
Yeah, well, I know 7:00 puck drop means I got 15 minutes to get home.
That's when it's national television, but on a normal regular broadcast, it's usually 7:07, 7:08 is when puck drop happens, which is fine. Like, that's okay. But 30 minutes after a scheduled event we need to get better at that. Like, we really do. Like, that one we need to get better at. I thought the entertainment was really good. I think a lot of people were laughing and we're having a good time. And, just the interaction with the different media members from New York to Florida to different people that were down there. Seeing, like, the friendliness of the Panthers, like, just really good. Like, the PR staff is just so good. Talking to different guys, just everybody's so upbeat down there in Florida. It's really fun. I mean, who wouldn't want to be watching a hockey game when it's that warm out? Like, I would. Like, I like it. Spring weather. Like, it's awesome. Like,
I know our guy Banksy would. He's a little bit cold up there. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely would love it. Like, I think just like the fact that you're like, oh yeah, you make fun of the Rangers, the fact they can't win inside, but the minute the roof comes off the building, like they turn into a different team. Like that's kind of fun.
If only the Giants work that way, right?
Right, exactly. And it's just interesting to hear like, what's Zito gonna do? What's this team gonna do? Like how are they gonna move? Like how are they gonna move the pieces around to who's coming back? Like to see Barkov out there skating, like and looking pretty good. Like I know it was light twirls, but he looked pretty good. And I'm like, this guy's gonna come back. He's coming back. To see Tkachuk out there, like and taking bumps, like he's probably at that time probably wasn't allowed to, but probably was, and he was, and all these guys out there and stuff. So it was the practices were fun, the families were having fun, everybody had a smile.
A little too much fun because of the on ice performance.
Little too much fun.
But
a little bit of
and you know who
too
hears
much
from
fun.
it? I do in the DMs from the fans that spend all the money. Like I'm in charge of everything. I'm not in charge. I'm not Coach Kirby out there.
Look, I'll say this. I think they embraced a little bit too much of the spectacle. The one thing I will say, I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer here, because they are the champs and they're in your face. So I whatever.
Give us respect. I respect what you say.
I didn't like the fact they brought the Stanley Cup out. Like I'm just gonna.
I didn't like the Matthew Tkachuk lit cigar, and he's not playing and everything. But I didn't mind the cup. I didn't like all that pomp and circumstance.
That part I just didn't like, because I think you honored it already. You did it. I know this is what they do in your face. We don't care. Okay, fine, whatever. But to me, I think it's over. You did your banner. You're not the champs anymore. Somebody's
the cup's not yours anymore.
The cup's not yours anymore.
Okay.
Like once you have your ceremony and you raise that banner, last season is over and it's time to get. And now it's a new season. But that's me nitpicking.
The only thing I have to say on that is the Barkov thing. And if you don't know, go do your own research on it. I'm not bringing it up here. That wasn't a great look with the cup, if you know what was going on behind the scenes. But I digress on that.
But wanted to talk a little bit about Barkey. There's been a lot of rumors out there. David Pagnotta talking about Barkov's timeline meaning potentially conference finals. Also talking about potential depth pieces that Bill Zito is starting to look at. Jim, you yourself have reported Jamie Alexiak as a name we've also heard. Another names that have been out there, Mario Ferraro and Connor Murphy.
Connor Murphy's starting to pick up some steam.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So kind of just your thoughts on how Florida could potentially approach moving forward and kind of the challenges they have to navigate here with the new LTIR cap rule in place.
Well, I think there's two new waters they have to navigate. It's not only the LTIR rules this year, but it's the playoff cap. Because whoever they bring in may not be playing a lot in the playoffs if everybody comes back and is healthy. Like that's another thing. Like I think a lot of people have talked about that. We're talking about is like who comes out of this lineup and who's healthy. Like which guy's coming out. Like what's the money going to be like? Like a good player might have to sit a night. That's making like $6 million.
I was thinking like Jeff Petrie up in the press box.
I was thinking that earlier today. It's like you could bring in a $4.5 million guy to be a temporary replacement, and then they're in the press box come the playoffs. Like that might be the new thing you see in this new era of you're not allowed to go over.
And that's why I'm not sure. And that's why I'm not sure that we see the moves that we think we're going to see. And I think if the Panthers were to get a Connor Murphy, Chicago would need to retain some money for Murphy to be able to stay in that lineup throughout the playoffs.
Yeah,
1,000%. I'm willing to put guys on waivers, Nick. You know, we've talked about Jesper Boquist.
Yeah, I know that, and it might upset some people. I know that's probably not going to be a popular move for an organization to bring a guy in, and then he's probably a player, especially veteran players that are going to come in and be like, I want to go on a cup run here. I was like, great, get us to the playoffs. Sit your ass upstairs. You're not in tonight. And
you mean they're going to be upset if you move a guy like Mackie Samoskevich out?
Well, that's where it comes into play is you're going to have to start making player for player trades. I mean, you're really going to have to start working against the cap here. It's like Boquist and Mackey make $2.5 million. You're going to have to get two players that maybe make 1.4.
Mackey's not signed next year,
so you might have to start maneuvering the cap that bit. that in a way. You might have to put some guys that you really don't want to on waivers to open up room there. And you might have to scratch a guy that maybe you wouldn't necessarily would, but the cap now ensues that to happen. So it'll be interesting to see, obviously. I mean, the Panthers, they've dealt with a numerous amount of injuries this year. You're losing number one center, number one winger. Brad Marchand got beat up a little bit in the Toronto Maple Leaf game. Jones is going to be out for a bit. Half your defense core is Sabrango, Petrie, and Balinskis. I don't think that's sustainable if you want to stay in this playoff race.
Which we're going to get to later on our top four.
Correct. It's like every game matters now. We're not like years past. Every game matters now, and you can't be losing valuable points because you have to wait for certain guys to get healthy. At certain times you might have to make a move, and then you figure it out later, and that might be just today's NHL.
Yeah, I mean, it is today's NHL, and I heard Kent Hughes say it the other day. He's like, well, I'm not sure this playoff cap could convolute some things and make things harder as to why trades may or may not happen. But I do think Bill Zito's trying to work the phones and try to get his team to be in a position when they can go on a three-peat. I think he wants to do it. I think he's still focused on it.
That's still in their mind, I think.
That's still in their mind. They want to make history. Like, they want to do it. I don't put it past them. And, look, I think they have to decide on some players on, Dmitry Kulikov, what's his status for the rest of the season? Is he possibly coming back? Can he come back? Barkov, we know, is probably coming back. When's Tkachuk coming back? Like, it'll probably be on a road trip at some point. Could be as early as Saturday if all things go according to plan.
The Ottawa game, yep.
Yeah, I think he would be. I think that's the game he's circled. Talking to him when we were at the game against Colorado, and again, this is where I'll say the Florida Panthers probably one of the best organizations in the world. They didn't have to make Matthew Tkachuk available during the first intermission, and they did. And he got to talk to the press that was there, and he was flat out. He's like, target-ish date. And, we'll see how it's going. And
Jim, was there anything off topic that wasn't allowed to be addressed?
No, he answered everything.
Okay, good to hear.
He answered every question. I mean, he was pretty much open and honest. He basically, look, I'll say this. He doubled down on something that he said during games right before Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. And I'm not talking out of order here because anybody can find it on YouTube. It's there. He said he was uncertain if he could have played in the playoffs. He said that if the Panthers weren't going and weren't in the position to repeat last year, he probably would have had surgery right away. But they had a chance to go back to back. He's like, well, I kind of lied and fibbed to the media saying I was better than I was. And he always knew he was going to need surgery. But, he had a target-ish date, and I think the target-ish date is against his brother.
Nick, we were talking about that earlier today.
Yeah, and kind of just echoing some of the sentiments here, Kirby, we've heard a lot regarding Jamie Alexiak. Kirby, I told you in the past, I mentioned it on our live stream, Sean Corrali's a name that they've inquired about at the very least. And Connor Murphy is, again, we've talked about that in the past. I had somebody tell me actually at the Colorado game that knows somebody pretty well that it's going to be pretty soon. I don't know if that means there's a trade coming. I can't confirm anything like that, but I mean, that name's kind of been out there for a while now, a name that was rumored to Florida last year. He was also from Plantation, and his father played for Florida. So a lot of different connections there and a lot of different hurdles to navigate. It'll be an uphill battle for sure, but it's going to be fun to watch for sure. And the parity in the NHL this year and just in sports really is something I've never seen at this point. January 7th.
Yeah, January 7th, and we really have only, 2 sellers right now in the National Hockey League?
0 teams in the Eastern Conference are below NHL 500.
I think last year was 7.
That's incredible. Yeah. The bottom 7 teams are in the Western Conference. And to give you guys some other kind of context here, Vegas, I think, set around 48 points. So in the Pacific, that would be number 1 in the Pacific. The Florida Panthers are at 47 points.
And fans were messaging me today, Nick. When are we
48 points.
Fans were messaging me today. When are we going to get to 50 points, Kirby? Well, look at that.
I mean, the Florida Panthers, the Washington Capitals, the Buffalo Sabres, the Pittsburgh Penguins, all who are wild card or just out of the playoffs, they would be number 1, number 2 in the Pacific Division.
That's ridiculous.
So to kind of give everybody some context here, the East, and we heard it coming into the summer that everybody except Pittsburgh wants to get better, and it's certainly turned out that way. And even Pittsburgh, they're currently in a playoff spot, and
but everyone's had a chance at last. You know, the Rangers have been last, the Leafs have been last, our Panthers have been last. Hey, Jim, your Jersey Devils are heading that way. So everyone's had a chance down there and then move their way back up.
Yeah, and I'm kind of starting to wonder, when are we going to kind of get the fall from grace for some teams? When are we going to have like a return to normalcy? Or is this just a new normal? Are these teams really just improved and this is what we're going to see? I mean, I'll tell you this, Columbus, the last team in the Eastern Conference, they're not a bad hockey team. They're not a bad hockey team at all. And any team in the Eastern Conference can win on any given night. Detroit.
Yeah, if Ottawa's at the bottom, that's a good hockey team to be bottom of the conference.
Yeah,
correct. I mean, you would have thought fighting for a wild card. I mean, they'd be top 3 in the division.
But they've had their issues. Allmark, he's in the player assistance program. So Brady Tkachuk injured.
The injuries this year have been something ridiculous. I mean, Adam Fox and Igor Shesterkin are out for New York. You had the Jack Hughes situation in New Jersey, the Alexander Barkov, Matthew Tkachuk thing in Florida. Tampa Bay Lightning have dealt with a number of injuries with Ryan McDonough and Victor Hedman being out, and as well as many other players, Linus Ullmark in Ottawa. So it's really interesting.
And the teams that have had more injury health and injury luck, maybe say a Montreal or Detroit, I'd have to check the numbers. Those teams have been at the top of the Eastern Conference. So again, it's just so much influx there of where these teams are at and everything. But we talk about this on our Saturday night show on YouTube. You can always join us live there with Jim Biringer. We're going to be live Saturday night on YouTube. We're going to do a little bit of a post game with the battle of hopefully the Tkachuk brothers, Senators, Panthers, if that is Matthew Tkachuk's return date. But Jim, we always appreciate you joining us on Saturdays. Anything else to plug? Anything else to add before we let you go on your debut performance here on the Cats and Rats podcast?
Well, I hope I lived up to your standards here, and I hit it. And I hit it. Wow, that's a shame. That's too bad. Because
we're just gonna dig for more information for next time for you to share.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's see. What do I have coming up? Well, let's see. I'll be on Sportsnet 960 on Sunday.
Sunday. You talking Calgary?
We talk some hockey, football. We go around the world with Mike Richards, so that'll be
okay.
That'll be a fun.
Peters talk or something. Okay.
CFL. CFL, not so much.
Hey, Calgary is an NFL city. I will contend that.
Yeah. So we got that. Going to drop an episode on my podcast, Full Press Hockey, tomorrow morning. We talk Devils.
Mike Richards is a radio icon in Canada.
I know he is. Big time radio icon. We got some articles out about the Devils, some things coming about the parity in the league. And I can't wait to be back with you guys on After Dark because it's going to be fun.
I'll finally be there.
Yeah, you guys weren't available last week. I was like, let's get some feel here for the Winter Classic. You guys weren't available. Either was our guy Big C, so we had to get you here. Jim needs to get his rest, but it is after dark, Jim. It is after. I know our boy Rod wants me to get on his show. I've had some scheduling conflicts, but man, he goes early for me over in the Mountain Time, so I got to get up early. Nick knows
Florida Panthers.
I'm a night owl.
The Dallas Cowboys, Kirby. There you go.
That's right. Rod's gonna throw Dallas Cowboys stuff.
Yo, Dallas Cowboys, they stink, baby.
Yeah, we know it. We know it.
Just as bad as those Giants.
Yeah, that's Jim's team. That's Jersey Jim's team.
They stink too. They're so bad. Like the Devils, they're bad too. But
we're gonna get into the Devils on the weekend.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about it on the weekend, boys. Gonna be wild. I'm gonna say this though. I'll say this wrap this up before I get out of here because I know you guys got a little bit more to go. I will say this: I was very impressed with the way the Panthers played on Sunday. Not so much impressed against Toronto, but I will say classy move by Sam Bennett addressing the Olympics and owning it and putting him on himself, saying he needed to be better. He, his play could have been better. He only looks at himself as the reason why. He owns it. He understands that other people make those decisions, but he said his poor play right now kept him off the list. And we know as of right now that he's probably one of the first calls if there's an injury. So don't fret, Panthers fans. Don't fret. Don't get upset. Don't get your hissy in a fit.
You heard it from Jim, everyone. And Jim was there and got to hear all the words there, with Bennett being available to the media there. Yeah, and he is on the reserve list. I have no doubts in my mind. But yeah, everyone in the media in Canada, down there in South Florida, everywhere in between, they're losing it on this Sam Bennett thing. But there's a lot of other snubs that we need to get into on the weekend too.
So this is why I tell everybody, do you watch the game? Like hashtag do you watch? Because everybody don't watch. Those guys on TSN don't watch.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they watched, they would have saw Sam Bennett not play well. And if they listened to your spaces, to After Dark, the podcast, they would have known that Sam Bennett didn't put up good numbers in the first 18 games. And yeah, he's turned it up now, but it might.
Same thing that happened to Zach Hyman last season.
The damage was already done.
Yeah. And everyone says go off a past pedigree, but you got to look at guys like the Macklin Celebrinis and the Nick Suzuki's that are tearing the
You have two new guys that pretty much became locks in Celebrini and Suzuki. So that moves guys down. And then you have
out.
And then you have a guy like Tom Wilson, who is a very good pedigree. He's a guy that
fans don't want to hear this. Brandon Hagel,
but you take a look at a guy like Tom Wilson, who wasn't there last year. You have a slow start by Bennett, a career year by Wilson, Suzuki, and Celebrini come up and really show out. All of a sudden, John Cooper's also the coach. Sorelli and Hagel are there.
Sorelli, you're right here, huh?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Spots run out. And the one guy I think you could make an argument is Bo Horvat, but he's had a really nice year. And
they liked what he did in the World Championship.
Probably a little bit more versatility there with Horvat than there would be with Bennett.
Penalty kill.
I think he could fit a little bit better on the penalty kill there. Not that,
Yeah, it's not the begin end all. I don't agree with all the decisions made with Sorelli and Horvat.
You really want to talk about who fucked up? It's Team USA. I guess Brock Nelson's a fucking world beater over here. Holy fuck. Anyway.
Yeah, wow. I mean, he's playing well with Colorado.
Look, hate to him, but you had you're leaving Jason Robertson and Adam Fox at home for Noah Hannafin and freaking
JT
Brock
Miller.
Nelson. I just don't.
And JT Miller.
And our guy, mine and Jim's guy, our elite guy that we saw the other night, unfortunately, kill us, Matthew Nyes, that dog. And then you got Cole Caulfield here now.
He didn't make it either, Matthew Nyes.
No.
I know. That's what I mean.
So I really don't. Like, you could. I know there's centers, right? And I know they value that, but you could have found a way. I mean, you take the best player. When you're best on best, you're not Canada. You don't have McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby. They
don't have this. Look, I understand what Garen's trying to do. He's trying to play the underdog card like they did in 96. That 96 team was just under that Canadian team in the World Cup. They could match the goals. They could match the physicality.
The goaltending. Like, they had that. Team USA doesn't have it. And I guarantee you know who the game one starter is for Team USA?
Ottinger?
No.
Swayman
in Boston.
Oh, that's a guy I think they should go to later. That's a Jim hot take there to start. Hey,
I think Swayman's performing the best at all three of them right now.
I'm a Swayman believer this season. What I've seen, yeah.
Well, guess what? What did he have this year that he didn't have last year, Kirby? Training camp.
Yep, and all the contract dispute and all that carries over.
Kirby, it says as long as our guy Seth Jones it's in there.
That was a Cats and Rats W. Kirby.
Fine.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's ready for the Olympics.
I know.
We'll see. I don't know.
But we're getting ready for that Olympic coverage. We gave you guys a little bit of sneak peek here on the podcast side, but appreciate your time here today, Jim.
Always. For my boys and my Florida Panther audience that has adopted me, anything for you guys.
Appreciate it, Jim.
We appreciate you, Jim. And as we say goodbye to Jim, we hear a word from our sponsor, Caneswear.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
And a word from another one of our sponsors, Jeremy Beckham. Champions don't settle, and neither should you. Let me introduce Jeremy Beckham at Beck Sells FLA, bringing a competitive edge to South Florida luxury real estate. If you want a home that performs in all three zones, location, lifestyle, and long-term value, Jeremy is your power play. The clock is ticking. Let's go for the cup. Reach out now at BeckSellsFLA.com. And a word from another one of our partnerships, Les Dunbar. Shout out to Les Dunbar. We're going to be giving away this Matthew Tkachuk signed autographed frame. Join today as a gold or silver YouTube member for a chance to win upon his return to the lineup, whenever that may be, Kirby.
Yeah.
We will announce it later that week once he returns. For your chance to win a Matthew Tkachuk 20x14 autograph frame Stanley Cup photo, donated to us by Les Dunbar, your sports memorabilia store, dual certified by YSMS and the players themselves. YSMS is the official memorabilia provider for Brad Marchand. Visit Les's store online at www.yoursportsmemorabiliastore.com. Good luck and stay tuned to the Cats and Rats YouTube channel for any and all giveaways.
And one more housekeeping item, especially for our audience on the podcast side here, on the audio side. Please subscribe to our channel over on YouTube. Like the videos over on YouTube. Even if you're listening to us on the Apple and Spotify platforms, we appreciate that. We appreciate those 5-star reviews there. But just go over on our YouTube channel side, hit that like button on our recent videos. That just helps with our algorithms there. You can comment on videos there. We don't really get back to any of those comments on those other platforms like Apple and Spotify. I know there is some comment sections there, but we do get to them over on the YouTube channel side. You can purchase super chat donations. We have gold, silver, and bronze memberships. And like my co-host Nick Levine just mentioned, gold and silver members up for that Matthew Tkachuk contest. You can upgrade your membership if you are a bronze member over on the YouTube side to a silver or gold level. Remember, on our gold side, you get early access to these podcast episodes. When we record it here in these evening hours, you have access to it right away upon the upload before it's up in the morning or afternoon the following day or two. So you have early access to these and any other special interviews and stuff we do as well, our members only shows, things like that. You can gift memberships to people in the community on our YouTube channel side and access to many other great perks. Nick?
Thank you, Kirby. And now we kind of shift over here to the defensive struggles that we've had. Kirby, you sent out a tweet about these struggles. I'm going to share my screen here. And as you take a look here, you say this: I predicted coming into the season on CNR Florida Panthers preview show that Gustav Forsling would not lead Florida in plus minus with his running mate up front, Alexander Barkov, missing the season. He is a guy who dictates first pairing in Paul Maurice's era, 5v5 goal differential. If we take a look here at the year by year, this year at 5v5, 25-26. Gustav Forsling is -5. You take a look there, that would be second worst on the team.
And this is 5v5 goal differential, Nick. Yeah.
5v5 goal differential. Then last year when Alexander Barkov pretty much healthy the full year, Gustav Forsling right up there. Alexander Barkov, 13, but Gustav Forsling was plus 18 there.
Forsling led last year in that.
Forsling led last year. He led again in 23-24 with a plus 35. Alexander Barkov, Kirby, right behind him at plus 30 at 5v5. A couple years ago, though, that first year under Paul Maurice, when Alexander Barkov, Kirby, we talked about, struggled mightily throughout the year, according to his standards at least. Yeah. Him and Gustav Forsling were tied with Rako Gudis at plus 13 5v5, just behind your guy, Josh Mahura, Kirby.
And that year, we were led by Matthew Tkachuk, Brandon Montour, and Eetu Luosterainen. And it shows there with the 5v5 number.
And then you take a look here. This is how much a Selke 1C can determine a top defensive defender in today's era of hockey. When that Selke winner misses an entire season, and you just compare it, plus 19, that was Barkov's worst year, I think, of his career. Meaning after he broke out, really, I think we all remember that season, not very fondly until the end.
These are fours plus minus numbers here.
And the next 2 years with Alexander Barkov and Gustav Forsling, I don't want to just leave it all to Alexander Barkov. He did play well these years, absolutely, plus 56, plus 33. But this year is -3, and you could a lot of talk about, is he tired? The wear and tear. That's a valid point, but
look at the number difference here, Nick.
But there has definitely been a drop-off this year in Alexander Barkov. We talk about is our number one defenseman quite frequently. And then furthermore, Barkov struggled on and off the ice in first year of Paul Maurice, 22-23, when he started to turn it around and into those 23 playoffs, namely versus the Bruins. Late into the series, you saw the Forsling-Ekblad pairing hit new levels of playing consistency. Forsling was plus 11 without his partner Ekblad in the 23-24 season. Partnered with OEL, whose game completely fell off in Vancouver. Maurice staff had to rehabilitate his awful play that training camp. Note, Barkov was plus 14 pre-Ekblad, returning to the lineup that season on the West Coast trip in Anaheim.
Yeah, so again, those are Ekblad numbers there when he was injured after that Stanley Cup run against Vegas there, Nick. And then we see where Barkov's numbers were there, with Forsling's numbers. And Forsling was with a new D-pairing partner, which OEL was acclimated to the system. So I know a lot of the things on the Forsling pushback is, well, Ekblad is holding him down. But I think it's more than that, Nick.
Yeah, and I think you've seen at points in time when Aaron Ekblad is out of the lineup, play falls apart. You could take a look last year when he got suspended for 20 games. The first pair, Seth Jones was a Panther for less than a week when he got promoted to number one defenseman, essentially. And I mean, really number one defenseman. There's no guy around there to help support him. It was Gustav Forsling, Seth Jones there, and they struggled. You go back to the year prior when Aaron Ekblad got hurt multiple times throughout the season after returning to the lineup. You might recall that Montreal Dmitry Kulikov game, right? That giveaway to the middle. The defense has struggled mightily without Aaron Ekblad. It looks somehow worse this year at points in time without Alexander Barkov. And again, you have something.
Oh, it looks way worse, I think.
Way worse
without
Barkov. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. And I don't think it's any secret. Like, we have a very strong defense core. I think they complement each other really well, but it really has a lot to do with their system and the fact that Alexander Barkov is not just a really good player. He's a generational two-way forward. Generational. The best two-way forward in history.
And why I'm highlighting Gustav Forsling is because fans, they put that plus minus at a premium. And I think it's a bit of a dinosaur stat. So it's ironic that fans want to throw stats in your face with the plus minus. And number two, they said, if Gustav Forsling, there was a defensive defenseman award, name one of them, the James Norris, name the other one. The Bobby Orr could be the offensive one, right? The James Norris, maybe that becomes the defensive defense award. Gustav Forsling is nowhere near that award with Alexander Barkov out of the lineup this year. Nowhere close to that.
No, and I think, Kirby, like, we have a good defense core. Like, they built it up, and it fits our system, and they complement each other with ice time and style of play really well.
But then,
do
we have a number one defense?
No, we don't. But we also have Alexander Barkov, and then we have the depth up front, and then we have Sergei Bobrovsky. But so it all kind of coalesces together. I don't think anybody thought, at least I didn't, I know you didn't, that the defense by itself was elite. It was good. I mean, it can get you to this point, right? And I know there's been a lot of challenges this year on the back end.
But people are like, well, Kulikov's out. It can't fall apart this much.
No, and I think that it starts from a number of things. That just the first pairing, your top guys, they haven't been good enough this year. And
they can't get those extended minutes and thrive through it and push through it. That's when they start to deteriorate.
Yeah, and I think, they just haven't been good enough this year, and it correlates exactly with the time Alexander Barkov's not here. He's not on the ice. I mean, that is our number one defenseman, and I know there's been a lot of...
Just to jump in, Nick, if people want to mention Matthew Tkachuk, a lot of times he played with Brandon Montour. He played with Mikkola. He's on the ice with the second pairing, not that top pairing. The top pairing is the Barkov line with Forsling and Ekblad.
And I think you've seen even Nico Mikkola struggle at points this year too mightily, actually, when compared to past seasons.
Has to play more minutes.
Has to play more minutes, and there's not just playing more minutes. There is a heavier reliance on the back end this year than there has been in previous years when you lose your number one center and a Selke level forward. And I think at times they've done an admirable job, but most of the time it's been inconsistent. And that's kind of where we are at this point now. You take a look at some of the games, particularly against Toronto is the main one. We really struggled. And Seth Jones has been our best defenseman this year. He's out for the month. So now it's kind of like getting down to it. The top pair needs to play a lot better than what they've been doing. And it really does. You say good defense leads to offense, and I think we've seen that at points this year.
And Nick, I just want to say, we're seeing a lot of numbers out there on Sergei Bobrovsky, the goal saved above expected, where he's down there around 60th. I understand what those numbers are, and maybe this is not prime Bob, but we're used to not seeing prime Bob in the regular season, and then him rounding into form in the playoffs and not only giving us elite play, but super elite play. So I didn't want to come in here today on this podcast episode, talk about all the Bobrovsky numbers. You guys, you can bring them up on our show. You can bring them up on other content and different things like that. But this was not my angle because I don't think people are talking about this Forsling first pairing angle enough. And like I asked you, Nick, on our post-game show the other night on our YouTube channel side, okay, Bob hasn't had the best of seasons. Name me how many defensemen on
That's
our
what I
have
mean,
been better than him. What, one guy?
nobody. I mean, Bob hasn't been great this year, but has the defense been better than what he's been? Like with how the play has been in front of him, can we expect any different? And I know he's given up bad goals this year. I do get it, but there's games where Bob gives up bad goals, and
Pittsburgh, Edmonton.
I get it. But there have been a number of games this year where we've let him down, particularly you take a look at the Toronto game, one of many off the top of my head, where Sergei Bobrovsky was really sharp, kept us in that game. Really did kept us in this game, stopped numerous point-blank opportunities, numerous breakaway opportunities. And you take a look, I mean, even go back to the Ranger game, right? And I know everybody's saying 16 shots. Okay, you take a look at the power play. The first goal for New York, puck goes down. They don't get the puck in deep. The puck comes down the wall. Defenseman, I don't remember who it was. I was at the Winter Classic. You're going to see who it was. They get beat to the puck thrown right out in front. There's a guy, Sabinich, coming right down the middle of the ice, unguarded, redirect into the net. Second goal, there's traffic in front. He couldn't see it. You want him to have it? Fine, whatever. He couldn't see it, though.
Yeah.
Third one, Gustav Forsling makes a pinch, leads to a 2-on-1. There it goes. Fourth one, it's 3-1 with 8 minutes left. Game over at that point, right? And he scores, and Panarin with a nice shot. I'm not saying it doesn't all fall on Sergei Bobrovsky. There's been points in time where Bobrovsky needs to be better this year. But it falls kind of on everybody, I think, at a certain point. And it goes, we've had trouble in many different phases of our game this year when we've lacked offensive punch and generating chances. We're giving up too many opportunities and we're pinching way too much. We pointed out, Kirby, in the Colorado game live stream, the right side of the defense was pinching down. It was getting exploited time after time after time again. And that was a game with Tarasov in it. So I think
you're talking about the one in Colorado.
The one in Colorado, obviously. And, I mean, I think at a certain point, you need help. You need help. And I know that we need them to play better, but needing them to play better and hoping they play better at this point in the year is costing you potentially a shot at the playoffs. And I know there's a lot of time left, but that time gets lost pretty quick. And a 3-4 game skid here, 3-4 game skid there really can derail a number of opportunities for you, particularly when the league is this close. So I think with Jones being out, who's been our number one defenseman in ice time and the power play, and I know the power play hasn't been good, it's imperative that these guys play well. And I think what also needs to be done is they need help. I think that the 27, 28 minutes a night right now with going to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, playing in the 4 nations, they got the Olympics coming up. Well, only half the top pair does. It's a tough spot, but they need help. They really do. We talked about it with Jim prior. He said Steam's picking up on Murphy. We mentioned Alexia. Kirby, we've talked about a third pair defenseman for how many months now? 2, maybe 3?
Oh, yeah, I've been going back 3 months plus.
So 3 months. I mean, it's time to
And if fans are worried about fatigue and stuff, Nico Mikkola going to play for Team Finland, Gustav Forsling going to play for Team Sweden. Last year, they asked Mikkola to play a lot of minutes in 4 nations. I thought he was all right. I thought he was okay. Forsling was not for Sweden.
And if we want to, we're going to make the goal, as Jim said, is they have a 3-peat in mind. I don't think 3-peat in mind stands out when you take a look at our defense core, that we keep it the way it is right now.
And Seth Jones, who's injured right now.
Seth Jones is hurt. And what Jim was inferencing is that it's going to be a little bit longer than what had publicly been.
I'm wrong. I thought it would be day to day, so I'll take an L. I'm kind of surprised it's week to week. It's not month to month, which I didn't think.
But he put into question the Olympics, Jim, right here. So it's like that the Olympics is a month away. So you're telling me right around Olympic time, that's a month. We don't have time for that right now.
Oh, yeah. You're not talking about Jones's timeline. You're talking about the team timeline.
I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't make a move, I mean, there may not be time in a month. Like the season could be lost in a month. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's like,
if fans are going to agree with Nick, fans are going to agree with Nick. If fans are not going to agree.
But here's the thing: this isn't like 2022, 23. You don't have your number one center. you are already at a major disadvantage than you are with any of the other teams. You don't want to put yourself in a hole. We have done a very nice job at surviving and treading water up until this point. We're right where we need to be when Tkachuk comes back. But we need to continue that, and we need to maybe get a little bit of a boost there. And I think Seth Jones being out for a month, that is detrimental to the blue line, particularly when you're already losing Alexander Barkov. So
he's led our blue line this year.
And you know, I mean, we need to start banking points. I don't want to go down the stretch without our number one center needing to go on a run here to do it. I think that's very difficult, and it doesn't need to be that way. We are a good team, and we can make moves that, you know, can really fix some things and really kind of help some guys out, and we can bank points here where we failed to at certain other points this year.
Does Bill Zito fall into that trap because he believes Matthew Tkachuk coming back is the magic elixir, which he might or may not be? And then number two, Paul Maurice has been in a hole before and has dug this team out.
Correct, but has it been this deep of a hole?
You're going to say there's no Barkov.
There's no Barkov. Like, this isn't 22-23.
But I know Barkov wasn't playing good down the stretch in 22.
But it's still I'd rather have that Alexander Barkov than no Alexander Barkov, right?
Yeah. But remember, Bill Zito's like, we're not making any trades, and that includes we're not getting rid of Ratko Gudas. And I was like, but it worked out some way, somehow. Hey,
right? He was right there. But, I mean,
I know.
As of right now,
you're going to be super stressed. I know you well enough, Nick, and I'm not saying you're wrong. You're going to be super stressed if it turns into that situation.
Well, if it turns into that situation where where it's that close and you have to go on a good chunk run without your number one center, that's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult, and that's not crazy to say. I mean,
no, because if you go on a 4-5, well, a lot of teams aren't doing this, but if you go on a 4-5 game losing streak, you see a team like Buffalo winning 10 straight. So there is some teams doing that, or Winnipeg, the extreme losing 10. There is a possibility where you do fall out of this wild card race because the Atlantic is starting to steadily improve here. I think Tampa's starting to make some space. I'm watching Montreal right now about to defeat the Flames. We're going to be playing them on a back-to-back. So you're starting to see some separation there in the Atlantic. And the Detroit Red Wings, I know you don't like to hear that.
Yeah, and don't even get me started. I mean,
but again, like there is a bit.
They're already at a major disadvantage going into games because their best player is out. They're already at a major disadvantage going down the stretch compared to other teams because none of these other teams really have their best player out. And
well, the ones that are at the top of the line.
I know Tkachuk's coming back, but it's like, okay, we missed Tkachuk and Barkov. Now we're down Barkov and Jones. So what do we do? Like, did anything really get better there? Genuine, like I know Tkachuk's a phenomenal player, but we've seen the way we play defensively this year. It's been putrid.
It's not that we're needing goals a lot of nights.
Yeah, like it's been putrid. So,
and when Tkachuk comes back, he's going to fall into points, like we said.
And we'll see how we play against Montreal. I'm willing to give it a game or two, but I don't think you should wait longer than this. As of this recording, it's January 7th. I don't know if you should wait longer than 7 to 10 days to make your determination if you're going to make a move or not, if Jones is not coming back.
And I know your deadline at the beginning of the year was way aggressive on mine. Yours was October, early November. Mine was post-Thanksgiving to pre-Christmas, and Cody's is more into this window now.
So we should have been banking points at the beginning of the year, and we didn't. And now we're not dead by any means, but we got some work to do, and it's going to be an uphill battle.
Just interrupt. A lot of it is cap situation. I understand. Figure all that out. It's not just we're saying, hey, snap your fingers and make a trade. There is different parameters at play here, but there can be more of a sense of urgency as well.
Yeah, I think when you take a look at, like, for example, prior to the Colorado road trip with Colorado, Utah, Dallas, Tampa, you win the December 6th and 7th game. I'm not making a joke there, Kirby. You win those two games, and then you go on a really tough road trip. Going into that weekend, Kirby, we had not looked good for a while. I think we had a losing record at that point, or really close to it at that point. You play Columbus and the Islanders. You're losing to Columbus. You have a chance here, if we don't pick it up now, we have a really tough road trip ahead. And then we overexceed on that road trip, and we kind of survive to this point. There's been these points in time in the season where they are really critical stretches of games that could have, in essence, made or break our season so far, or the path ahead. We have passed every single one of those.
But that's why they always can fall into that trap. Hey, we're going to do that.
But
The guys
here's
know
the thing.
to flip that light switch
But
on.
here's the thing. Ready? Do you trust that with who you have out there? Because at a certain point, the injuries are just too much.
Well, depending on the Lustos, and I like these guys.
And again, Kirby, we talked about you need to go 4-2 on this road trip. Panthers are already 0-1. They play Montreal on Thursday on the 8th. You know,
Ottawa, a very improved Buffalo Sabres. Then you got Washington. And Carolina.
It's tough. It's tough. It's a tough road trip. And we've seen how at points in time it can be very difficult this year. And I know we beat Colorado, but I mean, there needs to be a little sense, in my opinion, of urgency because Uvis Balinskis in the top 4 for what Jim is foreseeing potentially as a month is not ideal, particularly at a rarely critical juncture of the season.
And there's another guy that's going to get major minutes in the Olympics. He's going to be the number 1 guy leading Latvia.
No, we can't catch a fucking break, can we?
but let's kind of wrap there, Nick. We do have kind of a contest announcement to make here, and I want to put this on our timestamp. Please, as we say, follow the rules. Please, we beg you. On the audio side, it's a little harder because you don't see it on the screen here. On the YouTube side, you see it. Ticket giveaway contest. Thumbs up this episode number 67. Again, 67. This episode, nothing else, not our lives. Hey, Kirby, I went to thumbs up episode 66, 65. No, episode number 67. Thumbs up and tell us a comment in the section so we can find you and see your comment down there. Tell us where you think the Florida Panthers will finish in the Eastern Conference. If you have to predict, as of today, where they will finish.
And please, Lee, may I add, leave some way that we can contact you.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to do that, if you do win the contest, we're going to have to respond to your comment in the YouTube section and say, hey, you've won. We need to be able to reach out to you somehow because we can't find you on the YouTube side. We got to reach out to you with social media, be it Instagram, X, wherever. So if you do become a winner of the contest, you choose to enter, we have to be able to reach out to you so we can electronically send these tickets to you. It's the Buffalo Sabres Florida Panthers game. What is the night, Nick? Is it February?
I don't know off the top of my head.
February 3rd, home game there? Something like that. So
I believe it is. It's prior to the Olympic break, I believe.
Prior to the Olympics, it's early February. Look at the schedule. The home game.
No, not February 3rd. Hold on a minute.
5th?
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
The Buffalo Sabre game.
Buffalo Sabre game. So again, if you want to enter into this contest, ticket giveaway contest, club level seats, I believe, Nick, right?
I do believe, yes.
Tickets. So please also be available for this night. If you are going to enter into the contest, we want it to go to community members. We don't want it to be moved off for tickets and things like that. So make sure you're available. MJK was our last contest giveaway winner. And before that, Petra over on our Instagram side.
I think we're 0-2 on ticket giveaways.
Oh, yeah. They're 0-2, right? What was it? Anaheim? I can't remember the
both and 0, and we got a point.
Was it Anaheim and LA?
Nashville.
Oh, no, the Nashville game. Okay, yeah. So this is the Buffalo Sabres, and the Buffalo Sabres playing good hockey right now, and this is a division matchup. So again,
maybe not even a point this time, Kirby.
Maybe Buffalo will cool off by that point. But again, episode 67 on the Cats and Rats podcast. You got to come over onto the YouTube channel side. Got to thumbs up the video there and comment in the YouTube comment section on this podcast episode, and we will let you guys enter this down the road on this podcast episode as well. But enter as soon as you can.
Yes. Anything else, Kirby?
No, I think that's everything. Nick, nice to have you back, and nice to be back with our podcast audience here. I know we're not going every week or every 10 days, but we're doing a lot of content over our YouTube channel side, and we're going to be over here when we can get guests and bring you the latest information and all that type of stuff. Because you're gonna, if you're not over on YouTube channel side, gonna miss out, right, Nick? Breaking news, live stuff. We're going live, right?
Yeah. So make sure you check out our YouTube channel, and as always, we appreciate all the support. Yep. But anything else, Kirby?
Oh, that's everything. You take us.
Oh, we really do appreciate Jim Biringer for joining us from just an incredible episode, in my opinion. We really do appreciate Jim for coming on. It was great meeting him and Rod Peterson at the Winter Classic. We appreciate all of our listeners, all of our gold, silver, and bronze members. And even if you're not a member, we do appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, and make sure to follow the ticket contest rules. If you want to follow me or Kirby on Twitter, you could follow me at NJL1888 or Kirby at KJ_loops. And as always, we say here on the CNR podcast, let's go Cats.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats.